It's Big Bass Bash weekend at Lake of the Ozarks. Hundreds of anglers are gearing up to wet their line for a shot at $100,000 if they can bring in the biggest bass of the weekend. And we've got everything you need to know right here. From the Big Bass Bash, Al McCulloch joins us to give anglers a preview of what they can expect this weekend. But first up, professional angler Casey Scanlon will let you know how the lake's been fishing and let you know what he'd be focusing on this weekend to win some money. This is your mid-April Tackle HD fishing report for Lake of the Ozarks.
Hey guys, Casey Scanlon here, going to give you a quick fishing report for the Big Bass Bash coming up at Lake of the Ozarks. It's the biggest tournament we have of the year, and somebody's going to walk away with $100,000. So exciting time to be on the water. We've got some warm weather coming, and we've had some warm weather the last few days here in Missouri. So, water temps are going to be warming up. We're still in the low to mid 50s in most of the lake. So those fish are still pre-spawn, but they really want to move up and spawn and get on the bed here in the next couple weeks. So look for those fish to be moving up. The bite has been changing every day. We've still been catching a lot of fish on the Tackle HD fiddlesticks, the crankhead, baits like the HD swimmer on an Alabama rig, catching these pre-spawn fish around brush piles, points, channel swing banks, areas that they stage up in preparation for the spawn. Well, now we've got some stained water in a lot of the river arms. The water level is still low, 655, but with these rains and stuff, it's going to be filling back up. So these fish are going to be moving shallower and shallower as the days progress and as we get some warmer weather, some warmer nights. And, if you get any rain, warm rain coming in, that's really going to make those fish push to the bank even better. But look for jigs, spinner baits, and jerk baits, Alabama rigs to all produce fish. Some of the same baits we've been talking about for the last few weeks. And all those baits are known to produce big fish. So you're out here to catch that one big fish. So you really want to, make the most of your opportunity and give yourself a chance to catch big ones. So baits like a spinner bait, baits like a jig, swim baits, like we said, the Alabama rig, they're all known for catching big fish. So keep that in mind. Use a lot of those bigger baits that may appeal to that big fish. But there's going to be a lot of boats on the lake. So stick to the sections of the lake that you know. Look for where those fish are headed. Spawning coves off the main lake, these shallow pockets, they're going to warm up a little bit faster. Look for cover that you can see with your eyes, fish behind the boat docks, fish laydowns, fish those brush piles. The Garmin Live Scope is going to be a really great tool for targeting those bigger fish that are off the bank a little bit in that open water. So great time of year to be on the water because a lot of everything is working. But it should be an awesome time. You should see a lot of big fish. Usually the big fish is anywhere between a heavy 6 to an 8 pounder. So I expect nothing less this year. I expect a lot of big fish to show up at the scales. And a lot of those same baits and techniques that we've talked about the last few weeks are going to be really working. But look for that spinner bait bite to be improving. Look for that shallow jig bite and the soft plastic Texas rig bite to really be improving along the banks, behind the boat docks, along visible cover like walkways on the boat docks, laydowns, things like that. Expect that bite to really be improving. A lot of those bigger females will push up first, and you can catch those bigger fish when they first move to the bank. And I expect that's going to be what wins this year. It's been kind of a slow start. Listen to Jack's report last week. These fish really should be up shallower than they are. And when they come to the bank and they've been trickling up there, it's going to be in a really big way. So I expect it to happen here in the next few days. A lot of those fish are going to push up, and we're going to have a big wave of fish looking to spawn and looking to hit the bank. So it should be a great time to be on the water. And that's the Lake of the Ozarks Fish Report. Good luck to everybody out there fishing this weekend. Hope you guys catch that fish of a lifetime.
Hey, folks, Al McCulloch here with the Big Bass Bash, the $100,000 Big Bass Bash. And we are closely coming to the start of the spring edition at Lake of the Ozarks, April 15th and 16th. Of course, everything takes place at PB2, but the entire lake is in play. We're looking forward to seeing everybody there. And one lucky angler, male or female, is going to win $100,000 for the biggest bass of the weekend.
It's awesome. It's a cool event. Now, explain who is eligible to compete in this and who is not.
So we put kind of an amateur status on there, but to really clarify to everybody that anybody that has earned more than $12,000 in the previous calendar year is not eligible. So what we're trying to do there is, yeah, we know there's some avid anglers that participate in this event, but it's more for the weekend angler, more for the buddies to come down and have an opportunity to win big money, just like a professional angler would, whether it be one of the other tour trails.
So the top prize for the weekend for the biggest bass of the entire weekend is flat out $100,000, but
Correct.
There are more winners, more ways to win throughout the weekend. Explain that.
Yeah, so we have bi-hourly weigh-ins. They'll take place from 6:30 to 9 a.m., from 9:01 to 11, 11:01 to 1, and 1:01 to 3 p.m. So there's 4 opportunities on Saturday and 4 opportunities on Sunday for the anglers to cash in if they don't get the grand prize, which is that $100,000 there. If you do win an hourly, it starts at $1,500 for the first biggest fish for that particular hourly. We go all the way down to 45th spot, which is $190, and that's basically getting your entry back for the event there. So the idea for the anglers that are coming down is you want to try to cash 8, possibly 9 checks, that 9th check being the grand prize of $100,000. So that's the ultimate goal. You're only allowed to weigh in 1 fish per bi-hourly. So there's 4 checks on Saturday and 4 checks on Sunday.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned winning basically your entry fee back. What is the entry?
$190.
Okay. And,
yep.
And then for $190, you get either Saturday or Sunday. Is it a 4-hour slot?
So for $190, you are entered into Saturday and Sunday, and you're basically fishing from lines that are at 6:30 till 3 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. So when you talk about going to the Vegas casino at Lake of the Ozarks, it's pretty good payout as far as for $190 that you have a chance of winning $100,000. The great thing about the tournament is, look, it's something unique. It's very different than the Terrell family and Midwest Fish tournaments put together. It's low key. You can come down there with your buddies. It could be a barbecue and beer weekend. You can come down there with your family. We see a lot of parents and kids together. We see a lot of grandparents and kids and grandkids together. So it really is kind of a fishing party, if you would say, with the chance of winning $100,000. And you know, the kids have their own division for 4 different species. We've got a ladies division. They have a tournament prize, but they also qualify for the $100,000 grand prize. So it can be either a buddy tournament or a whole family event.
That's awesome. And you guys do this twice a year at Lake of the Ozarks, coming up here April 15th and 16th, Saturday, Sunday. And then you're back again. Is it October?
Yeah, first weekend in October.
Okay. And then you also do the same thing at Grand Lake in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It will be the last weekend in May. So there's 3 big bass bashes that take place throughout the calendar year.
Gotcha. Now, Al, in your memory of, being up there, because you're the guy on stage announcing these people, announcing the weights, you're the MC of the event. I know you do a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well. What are some of the weights that have won this thing in recent memory?
Well, so the biggest weight we've ever had, believe it or not, we've not eclipsed the 8-pound mark. We're always looking for it, but 794 is the biggest bass in the history of the Big Bass Bash that has won the grand prize. And I believe at that time it was $75,000. I don't think it was $100,000 fish.
Okay.
But we've had fish that range in the 6.5-pound mark to the high 6s to the low 7s. Gotcha. So do we eclipse the 8-pounder? A lot of people say if the spawn is just right, and those fish are staging, it depends on water temperature and all that stuff, we could see an 8-pounder this year. But as of today, 16 years that the Terrell family's been doing this, 17 years, the 17th year, we've never eclipsed an 8-pounder. And we know Lake of the Ozarks is chock full of big fish.
Awesome. So it's on the 15th and 16th of April, Saturday, Sunday. People can still register now. Is there a cap of, like we're maxed out, or will you just keep taking them?
No, we'll keep taking them. So now, as far as registration goes for the tournament, you can do that online. However, on April 14th, we will be at PB2 taking registration starting at noon, going till 7 o'clock at night at PB2. We also will have some registration taking place at Fitz Fishing, the one near Osage Beach, and then the one that's over off of 42 over there. So you can go in there, get your T-shirts, et cetera, et cetera. But you can also register the morning of the tournament. So it's each of the weigh-in stations. We've got 5 of them. And I want to make sure that I give you guys the correct locations for these weigh-in spots. PB2, of course, is one of them. Red Oak Resort, Point Randall Resort, Alhana Resort, and Ivy Bend. We will have staff there. That's where all of the anglers will weigh in their fish in one of those 5 spots. So whether you fish the south end of the lake or the north end of the lake, you don't have to run your boat that long to go weigh in. But we also do registration the morning, Saturday morning and Sunday morning of the tournament. We'll have staff at present. Registration will open up at 5:30. We'll take those registrations till probably about 6:15, and then we'll cut those off. So as far as participation goes in this particular event, we average anywhere from 3,000 to 3,300 anglers that participate in the spring and in the fall Big Bass Bash. It's a lot of anglers, but the lake is huge. It's over 100 miles. We've got various weigh-in spots there. So, yeah, you might get to some spots, and there could be a little bit of traffic there, but you can find a lot of spots on that lake and nooks and crannies and creeks and all that stuff to where you can find that big girl just waiting to be caught.
It's going to be huge. Al, thank you so much for joining me. What's the website for people that want to find out more about it?
Real simple, bigbassbash.com. That easy.
All right, Al, good luck to you and your team, and good luck to everybody out there fishing that day.
Thanks, Joe.
See ya.